All right, guys, this following podcast really took me out of my comfort zone. I know I've said in the past that this podcast is about great conversations with amazing people, but generally I've been sticking to my comfort zone of mental health and rabbis and teachers and educators. These are people I'm used to talking to. This time I spoke to someone who is a mentalist and a magician, and also someone who has returned to his faith. Besides for his story being awesome, his name is Elan Smith, and he wowed me in a million different ways. We get into major discussions, especially about what's real, what's fake, what people are actually wanting in magicians, why they love magic, why do we internally believe that we need to believe in something. And it was some really, really cool conversation. His wife was here. She's not on video, but she pipes in every once in a while, so that's kind of fun too. Anyway, it was delightful, interesting, different type of conversation. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. Please like, follow, subscribe. I want to tell you, from all the likes and comments that we've been getting, the whole podcast has been blowing up in a way that all these great ideas are getting out there. So thank you and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to the Brainstorm Podcast. And now, your host, Sonny Perlman.
Okay, we're live. I'm sitting with Elan Smith. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. It's absolutely awesome.
This is the oddest podcast I think I've done so far. Why? Because everything I do is like mental health and like the community. And you are a mentalist, magician, corporate speaker, business guy,
father, husband, father, and all-around nice guy.
But I tell you, you reached out to me earlier this week, and I was like, that would be so cool. Anyway, so I got excited. And we immediately, cool. That's one of the quickest impromptu podcasts that I've had. Anyway.
That's good to know. At least I hold some record. That's cool.
Okay, so your name is Elan Smith from South Africa, but you live here now.
Correct.
Could I just ask, the name Smith? It's not a very Jewish name.
It's not a very Jewish name. So
how did Smith come about?
It came about. My grandfather came in from Lithuania, went through to South Africa, and he crossed the border with his correct name, which was Schmittas, and his brother had the government changed his brother's name, so he wanted to have the same name as his brother. It was easier for him to change that way than to go the other way, so the government gave it to us.
It almost sounds like if I said my name was Smith, that people would think I was like making it up.
So that's happened plenty of times.
Yeah, like sure.
I've booked into hotels before with my wife standing next to me, and you book in for Smith, and the guy like, well, okay, so
that's awesome. Okay. Anyway, so so you are. I feel like I want to ask a million questions, but I just described you as a magician, mentalist. Could you actually say what that is? I don't know exactly.
Oh man, I also don't.
Okay.
We're in the same box.
And also, I want to just ask why. That's my next question.
Okay, fine. So that's another question. So
you can make
before we get much further, if I forget anything, we have my wife sitting on the other side of the room with a microphone.
She's today producer.
Yeah, she's a producer. And when I forget things, I don't put things in, which happens very often. She'll just pop in and remind me, or give me that, those eyes, those googly eyes. Okay, I like to describe it as just I'm an entertainer, and I use illusions and I use mentalism and comedy as my form of getting my message across, or as my form of entertaining and giving people something to laugh about, something to go wow, bring some wonder. So everything I do revolves around magic and illusions and mentalism and all these wonderful things, but it breaks up into many, many different fields and different areas. So the majority would be obviously shows everyone knows of, but then also for our corporates, what we do is something called infotainment, where I would take their product, their service, their whatever it might be, and create a routine or something magical about it that will be used for, let's say, a trade show to get your idea of what it is that this company does across to the client in a very fun, creative, visual way.
That's awesome. So you'd be like at an expo or something like
So
that?
this would be specifically at a expo. What I'm talking about now, the idea is to build a group outside their booth with a couple of minutes of magic, fun, nothing to do with the company, just to drop your guard, have fun, enjoy. And then it goes on to a routine. The last routine is, again, still comical, still fun, but it is specifically why that company is there today. It's something that you'll walk away and you'll remember. People don't want to remember, or it's difficult to remember, or facts and all hectic things like that, but there's one personal part that you want them to walk away and never forget. And that's the part I'll take and make a trick, a illusion out of. And then also try to create some sort of giveaway around that idea that then we can hand out and do that sort of stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's trade shows. Then
Wait, can I stop you for a second? Because Meaningful Minute. It's another podcast, big podcast. Nachi Gordon's a good dude. I've been on his podcast. He said to me, when a guest come in, you should ask him the thing like that you've been thinking in your head, like first. Do you ready? So I'm in the middle of asking you things, but as you're talking, I'm like, I'm not listening to Nachi. What I wanted to ask you is, could you do something? Could you show me something? I don't know if you could do it on command. Holy cow!
Hey? How cool is that? Sure, I can show you
Could
something.
you show me an example of something? I don't know. I don't know how this comes out on a podcast.
So I'm going to just interject.
Yeah.
I think, Ilan, we can give him the titles of illusionist, mentalist, but he creates magical moments. So whether it's at like a Sheva Brochas or a private party or like infotainment, when he says he's an entertainer, it's to actually, he makes people laugh and happy. So
nice.
I describe him very differently.
Oh, nice. Okay, thank
Let me
you.
just get my cards from there.
Wait.
2 seconds.
I really like this. The producer. I used to have a producer a long time ago. I don't know, in my earlier days. For some reason, I just don't now. But it's fun to have like another voice pop in out of nowhere. It's like, where did that come from? It's a little magical.
I'm always behind the scenes.
It's like breaking the fourth wall. The producer is like, oh, there's a show. What's happening here? All right. Sorry to put you on the spot. But I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go in and he's going to show me something cool. I want to see something.
Have you got any cash on you?
Yeah.
Dollars that fold?
Dollars that fold. Got it.
Anything?
All right. Anything. All right. Here's a $20 bill.
Good.
Already a little folded. All right.
Okay.
1 second.
So we'll put this back. There we go. This is your $20 bill, and I like to use your money instead of mine because I know how this ends. No, just so you know that it's not gimmicked or anything like that. But here's the idea: your 20.
Oh. Holy cow.
Levitates.
My 20 levitate. That was so cool.
Should I do it again?
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
No one's ever said no. It's funny.
Really? Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
That's yours.
All right.
So for those who
that
couldn't
was
see
real
that-
magic.
For those who couldn't see it, Sony gave me a $20 bill.
If they couldn't see it, they missed everything.
Put it on my hand, and it levitates between hands. So,
That was so
I don't
cool.
want this to turn into a what's the word?
A magic show?
No, a magic show with absolute pleasure. a like CV of, so I do this, I do that, I do that, I do that. You know.
And
Yeah.
I'm going to interject. Solly said that, wow, that looked real. Maybe touch on the fact that magic is not real.
No, please don't ruin my... I'm really enjoying the fact that I think it's real. You're ruining it for me. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Okay.
Magic...
So, okay, I don't know where you want to go from here. I've got a lot more to say where we come from.
Well, no.
or
Okay, so
magic
now I'm
real,
going back to my
like-
old line of questioning. We'll go into magic is real, not real in a minute, but we can go there. But my old line of questioning was why? Like, how did this start?
Okay, so years ago, I think every kid, especially every boy, enjoys magic at some stage of their life, like while growing up. Everyone, like, you see something and they're fascinated, and then they move on in life,
Right.
and they grow up. It might happen to me one day. I might grow up and I might graduate. I don't know. We'll see. So at the age of 8 or 9 years old, I was on holiday back in South Africa, where I grew up, and there's a guy on the side of the street, a little flea market, selling 1 or 2 easy to do magic tricks. My dad bought me the first trick. By the end of the day, I went back to buy the second. By the end of the holiday, I walked out with, I went home with 2 magic books, easy to do magic books by John Tremaine. I still have them. It's cute little things. And I just, as they say, the bite bit. And I soon went on to finding a teacher. Where I was really lucky is that the teacher I found, the guy George Moss, an elderly gentleman back in South Africa, a Yid, sweet as old man.
His name is George Moss.
George Moss.
So far,
Yeah.
the second coolest name I've heard today. Elan Smith was the first one.
Very cool. Yeah, because it was Smith.
George Moss. Old guy.
He taught. He was into sleight of hand. He was into adult sort of magic. So I'm also a adult entertainer. That's because it's magic, but it's not focused to like children or anything like that. It's specifically for more mature audiences. So he taught sleight of hand. He taught the psychology behind magic and all this sort of stuff. And I got involved with him at about, I don't know, maybe 16 years old. And I just started learning really cool stuff. And I got sucked into the psychology of magic and the mindset and how things work. And everything is about how people think. And that started taking me on a whole other journey.
Could you give me an example? Because now you're going into my territory. What does it mean, the psychology of magic?
Okay, so, sure. Here we go. Now, let me first tell you a story. Very simple. I'll show you a trick. It happens many times, and then I'll show you a bunch of magic, a couple of things, and later on, I'll hear you telling your friend what I did. And I'll listen, and I'll hear what you're telling your friend, and I'm like, I wish I could do that. I can't do that. But that doesn't matter. What matters is what do you remember, right?
No, you lost me. You lost me. Wait,
So
say that
here-
again. Say it one more time. Sorry.
So
Sorry, audience.
magic happens twice.
Yes.
The first time it happens is while I'm entertaining you,
Okay.
and everything's going on, and it's wonderful. The second part, and this is the more important part, is that when you're telling your friend what happened, what the experience was,
Right.
and those two are very seldomly the same thing. You telling over what you remember.
Who's saying I wish I could do that?
I'm saying I wish I could do that second half, that second piece. I can't do that.
You can't
You
tell
giving
over.
no, you giving over a story of something that you believe
Okay.
happened.
Okay.
Your memory is not exactly the way we believe memory to be.
So you have no way to know how my memory is going to give it over.
No,
The original person.
but I know that it's going to be
different.
amplified. It's going to be better than what actually happened.
Okay. Oh, that's what you're saying.
Right.
Like,
So-
I wish I was that good. I've heard
Yes.
stories about myself, and I'm like, I
that
wish that was true, because that's a great story.
So usually I say, please tell my wife.
right, yeah. Yeah, just
Right, because she knows the truth, but when you say you're so nice. Yeah.
I wonder what the Baal Shem Tov was thinking. Like, he's like, these are great stories. Wow. I did some of them, but these are amazing. Sorry.
I should have said that. That's what I was thinking. Tucker, I should have done that.
That was a good one. He had a baby that year. I didn't.
You
Anyway,
should have told me.
yeah.
How did they know?
This is it.
How do we know? Like,
That's
you know?
my first Baal Shem Tov joke I've ever made. There you go.
Okay, which one down. So
Okay. So I get what you're
that's
saying.
just-
Okay.
So magic, fine. So now the mindset, and that was the story I wanted to tell you. And like, here's the idea. Imagine, I'll tell you what the secret is, so you'll be able to understand it. If you, okay, whatever. If you have a
Use
coin,
props. What do you got? Coins? No,
I have a coin in my
Coins,
bag.
no,
there.
no.
I have a coin in my bag. If you don't mind, shiny, thank you.
No, I want everything to be visual.
So I can use
I
that bank
love
notes. I can use bank notes. Yeah.
No, get a coin. Hey, bring it in. Bring it in.
Be in the camera, but
You could be in the camera.
feel the magic bag.
That's the producer, guys.
That's the producer.
Yeah. So the idea is this: if I
Yeah.
have, it's just stuck. There we go.
All right.
I have a coin.
By the way, when you're on a podcast, I suggest you talk while you do things because the camera tracks who's talking. I'm just saying.
Okay, cool.
Just
okay.
how the switching happens
okay,
after.
switches like that. Fine. So I have a coin in my hand. I want to make it vanish. Now, if I want to make it vanish, I want you to have the strongest feeling of what happened. So the strongest way this coin could vanish would be it's on my hand and now it's gone. Correct?
Yes.
I can't do that.
Right.
Fine. The next version would be it's on my hand, close my hand, open it up, and now it's gone.
Okay.
Damn good. Right? That's really good.
That's really good.
The third one would be it's in my hand, pass it to this hand, make it blow, and then it vanishes. Very good. But you can see how it's becoming weaker each time.
It's becoming weaker, right?
But it's still strong. What happens if I could do this one, the one where I toss the coin from one hand to another, and I have the feeling, I give you the feeling that I did the first one. Do you understand what I'm saying?
That you actually made it disappear right
Disappear.
there.
So that it's possible by doing something like this. The coin's in my hand. This your $20 bill is now my magic wand, so to speak. I'm just making it. I don't use a magic wand, but pretend that's a magic wand. So the coin's here. I want to pick up this wand because that's going to help me accomplish what I'm going to show you.
Okay.
So, but my hand's full. So let's put the coin there, pick up the money, and then do that.
Oh,
And I've just kept the coin here. Right?
Oh, wow.
So what happens is it's
So you're saying that's because I'm not even.
So now this motion of me moving the coin from one hand to another becomes secondary, it becomes superfluous. I'm only doing it because my internal dialogue is I need to pick this up. I can't because my hand's full. Not full, but it just logically makes more sense to do this.
Right.
And because that's a natural movement, you're not going to remember it afterwards.
That's the idea that you don't remember it. That like you don't. It,
So-
like I watched it 3 times just now, and each time it looked completely magical.
I have done it before.
I know. I'm saying it's
No,
like
no,
I
I know.
know it's coming the second
yeah.
and the third time, and still
So-
each time that's
So everyone talks about sleight of hand, and they talk about misdirection, and everyone says misdirection is like your hand moves faster than the eye. The biggest load of nonsense. It's kind of equal, the speed.
right.
It's your hand could never move faster than the eye. But what can happen is that first of all, it's a completely different realm. It is I'm doing things in a natural way that not only are you not going to remember it, you don't see it. Obviously, you're physically seeing it, but your mind is focusing on something else because your mind is focusing on what it believes to be important for this moment. That moment, what's important here is picking up the $20 bill, not the fact that I put the one coin from one hand to the next.
Right.
Right?
So if you just
magic-
did that trick, if you just did the
It will still
drop
be
it,
good.
I'm watching. They probably didn't. You know.
No, it will still be good. It is very visual. It is still very good. It's not going to take a bad move and make it fantastic. It'll take a good move and make it fantastic. It will take something that is a trick and it'll move it into the realm of being magic. Do you understand
Right.
what I'm saying? I don't like using the word magic so much because people make it's not real, which is not, and luckily we have issues about that. But it takes it into something which is far more effective, far more beautiful, far more wow.
That's wild. So what I've always found fascinating with magic, and we can call it something else. I think the magic that's bad in the Torah is like talking to the dead people. I don't know if it's just like sleight of hand.
Talking to them is not
What?
a problem. Getting them to talk back. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Get it? No, so whatever. Yes, but when you
That's what I thought
okay.
about the Torah. But okay, but
We can
I'm
talk
sure
about
you
that-
know
we can
more
talk
about
that
that.
later. No, you're right. But what I was referring to is a little bit different. We can talk about that later.
Okay, so the idea of it is, it would be more accurate to say my hand is quicker than your mind. I don't know how to say that.
Yes. So if my hand were to look, let's say, like it's all weird, no matter how fast, no matter how slow, no matter what I do, it's not going to work.
Right.
But because it's a natural movement, that when a person sees a hand that looks like this, that's an empty hand. Because it's a natural movement, therefore it works. How can we make it better? So usually good illusions are like layered with different misdirection pieces in it.
Wow. I'm immediately thinking about how this affects us as people. I'm sure you've done this before, but in my eyes, it's like what we think, our perception of things is everything. Meaning
Yes.
it's we are. This is a question I get sometimes. Like you'll have two siblings that are like really close to each other. One of them becomes an addict, and the other one like doesn't, and they live the same life. I'll give you a better example. In my own life, my own family, some of us, we kind of live like we were poor when we were kids. I didn't know it. My sibling right next to me knew it. For him, it was like a trauma, like we didn't have money. To me, I thought we were rich. We have a house. It just didn't, the way I perceived it was like there are poor people living on the street, and we're like, I have underwear, I have socks, I have food, I had things. And another one of my siblings is like, we were in dire poverty and everybody else has tons and we have nothing. And it was just, we literally grew up differently because of this perception thing, which is wild because the same exact thing happened. Nothing changed.
But the this is your realm of, but you'll correct me if I'm wrong. It's the box you're putting the information in. The boxes were different. The shape of the box was different. For whatever the way you were born, whatever it is, but the way you saw something,
Right.
the way your brother saw something is different. You saw identical thing,
Right.
but you saw something different from different angle, from whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm saying is like how much of our decisions and how much of what we do is like based on just what we see. I was listening to Chase Talby at like a question and answer session last night. I'm completely enamored by him now that he's been on my podcast. I'm like beyond. I'm like I just really love the guy. So anyway, see, this person called in and said, what do I do with my daughter's father that like he doesn't care about her? And immediately, like Shay's pushed back, like it's very rare for a parent to not care about the child. So whatever the story was, I don't really remember all the details, but the idea was that she sees the situation as he doesn't care about the child. So she's reacting to that. It's not, and it doesn't matter if he says I do care or if it doesn't matter because your actions somehow in her head, that's what not caring. There are so many things in our lives that are constantly happening in our perception, and it's so real. I watched that 4 times, and each time it seemed real. Well, I don't know. I find that really wild. Okay,
right, like my wife would tell me, if you let's say, here we go. Well, if you love me, why are you not spending? This is not her actual words. I'm just giving examples. But why are you not spending time with me? Like spending time with me, Ilan. That doesn't show that you love me. Show you love me means you do something else for me. So we all have our little box, and because you're not ticking those things in my box that I need to understand that this equals that, 1 equals 2. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not going through the way I understand the world, then therefore you must not like me because you're not doing what I would do for someone else if I like them.
So you're studying people's perception. Okay, but here's the question. But I have a question, and then you can go back to what you're saying. But my question is specifically this: because maybe I got into a little rabbit hole of like, because people perceive things differently, when you do illusion or magic, or do you have to find the things that are common to every single person. You can't have 3 people in the audience thinking something else.
Right. So
how do you do that?
Because we were talking about magic, and we took a detour and we went into psychology. Which is very, very specific about each individual person. Magic is more the combined sort of, it's like more generic, more, everyone is, like you say, more basic. Although you do get some people sometimes where you're entertaining and you can just see that they're just not looking anywhere else. They won't, so to speak, blink. Like you can see that they are focused on this. It's like a certain brain. They're focused on this specific thing. They want to see the move. They don't care what you're saying. They're just staring at one thing. Finished. Right.
Right.
You get some of those. Very, very few, but you do.
Right.
In the Jewish world, you get them more often than in other worlds, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But you do get that. Fine.
We're going to talk about that later. What does that mean?
Meaning, I don't want to.
We're not going to talk about it. We're going to forget.
No, we can't.
Tell me, why in the Jewish world? It's different.
No, because I'm ADHD. It seems like you are also, and it's hard to get back to what we're actually talking about.
I'll get back there.
So that's why I talk about later, because I want to try to follow on with this thing, and I haven't even taken my medication this morning. So like ADDs are, it's like
Okay.
So I don't know why, but actually I think I do. I think specifically the froom world, they are very much. I don't know if I said they don't want the wool pulled over their eyes, or they don't want whatever it is, but they want to know, like, you entertain for going, I joke, but just normal guy, you just go to a corporate, you do a show, people applaud, they laugh at the right time, they applaud, they love what you do, it's amazing, can we have an autograph, a photograph, and they go home. Finished. I know how you did this. You don't have to answer if I'm right or wrong. Don't worry, I won't answer you right or wrong. But thanks for giving me permission. But you don't have to say if I'm right or wrong. But I think you're doing this or that. Like, to be honest, dude, I actually don't care what you think. I don't mean to be rude or anything, but like, okay, that's what you think. Very nice. I'm not, if you're right or if you're wrong, gay isn't hate. Very nice. Did you enjoy the show? Did you laugh? Did you forget about any issues that you had for that moment? Were you wowed? That's it. That's what I care about. If you know how it's done, giggles and tape. Very nice. I have a double booking tomorrow. Do you want to do the show for me? It doesn't bother me because I know how a show's really made and I know what the important parts are. Fine.
It's interesting you say this because I am one of those people. I'm not rude. I have better social skills than to go over to you. But
I don't mind it.
I think the thing that drives me crazy, my wife is like, why do you care so much? Like, if somebody's trying to like bamboozle me, like if I'm being tricked, like in bigger things in life, it drives me crazy. Like, why are you like tricking me? Like, what's this lie you're telling me? And I don't like being tricked.
Good.
So it really drives me crazy.
Or very few people like being tricked. No one. Right. So back to the psychology thing.
Okay.
If a person walks out on stage, and magicians used to be this thing, and some still are, that they are the big deal, that they come across with that personality of this ego or of this, that they know these things and that they're so good at something, it puts your back up naturally. If a person comes out on stage and they are the friendly guy next door personality and they're easygoing and they enjoying something with you, it changes that completely. It changes the feeling in you. So it becomes that there are less people with that personality, right? So thank God I have a relatively easygoing personality. I don't mind things not working so much 100% and me thinking on my feet, and it's fun and people saying that doesn't bother me, but it really strengthens what I do because it changes their perception. It changes the way they're viewing it. It changes their intention of finding every little thing that goes wrong because I'm more easygoing.
Ilan, can I interject a second? I think like even just yesterday, someone saw Ilan at a private gig, and she came up to me afterwards and she said, he really made the whole event. Like, we would have just had dinner and sat there talking, but Ilan's show made the event. And she said that afterwards they sat thinking and analyzing, like, how did he do this and how did he know that? I think there is, like, you've even told me, Ilan, that like you didn't have cop. We don't have the brawn. We're not the sportsmen out there. We are the brainies, the thinkers, and so we're going to think and analyze, like, wow, how did he do that? Because it is pretty magical. It is pretty cool when you see.
Right, but also there's a difference of, you will think that straight away, but there's a percentage of thinking that, and there's a percentage of wow. And when do you start questioning, and when do you start asking that stuff? If you instantly asking it from the beginning, I truly think that maybe people are doing this for like my stuff also. But I think that what you're doing is more puzzle than it is magic.
Really? Oh, well, okay.
That's what I think. I think magic is meant to be enjoyed, entertained. I also have the personality of how the hell did you do that? Right? Maybe that's what got me going originally, and even now sometimes. But that's not the first thing. Depending on who I'm watching. If you're watching someone who is, I'll laugh a lot because there's a lot of good comedy magic, and there's a lot of wonderful things. And later on, you're going to think, yo, just watch that again. That was really awesome. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, what's the focal point? And I think it's based on them, like the book Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. Right? It talks about like
that's a great book.
The original
But how is that like the book Blink was basically like the first gut reaction is
Yes.
usually the right reaction.
Right. So the first reaction, when a person walks out on stage, before they've gotten to the center of the stage, they've already encapsulated you. They've already put you in a certain box. Meaning, are you this friendly next door nice guy, or are you this big deal that is coming here to pull puzzles?
So let me ask you a question. Have you tried both? I'm wondering, like, you're saying
so
this,
I'm-
but
I'm
have
more-
you ever like experimented and came out as like not the nice guy and see if it would be different? Or you just kind of, I know that it would be different.
Like only at bedtime, putting my kids to sleep is not the nice guy. Getting them ready for school. But no, I'm just myself. I'm just this is who I am, sort of thing. I don't.
So is it
I
when
don't think
your
it worked out well for
personality
me.
is disarming? You come out, they're
Naturally,
ready
I
to
think so,
play.
yes.
And if you came out like, I'm going to trick you.
Right. So maybe this came from, again, my whole career until I moved here, until I started traveling here for shows, was entertaining corporates, businesses. Back in South Africa, there's no business to entertain Jews necessarily. It's like a much smaller community.
Right.
So it's all different corporates, specifically the financial industry, and where there's brokers and they're spoiling them and doing things. So, and there's a lot of goyim, vast majority. And when you walk out on stage looking like a Jew, or they don't know what a Jew is so much, but with the beard and tzitzit, and you're looking like this, I need to break whatever perception they have. I'm guessing is not going to be a good one for a entertainer. Nothing to do with anti-Semitism or anything like that. Just as an entertainer, I need to break that perception. So the quicker I do it, the better. So I've naturally not going to ever walk out and be serious out on stage. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
it's just going to make my job much
You're
tougher.
saying like when you, oh my gosh,
So
I got to tell you a quick story.
I've like grown up with this idea, yeah.
I know somebody Shmuel skates. He plays beautiful music, and he plays mainly for non-Jewish crowds. And he's a Hasidic looking Jew. Like he's got a long beard and big payas, and but he's been playing for years. I mean, since he's young, and he goes to like in these clubs and stuff like that. And he walked in this place. He said that it was like an entire crowd, like they've never seen a Jew before, kind of club. And he walked in, and I think Matisyo has dispersed this, but this is pre Matisyo.
Yeah.
So he walked in, and he walked up there, and he saw the tension in the room was like so tense. Like, what is this like Hasidic looking Jew gonna do? And he gets up there, he's quiet, he like tunes his guitar, and then he goes, idle, and he just like, and the crowd went nuts. Like he won them over. But so it's the same thing. You gotta come out.
Again, this is what I felt. This is what I did. Right or wrong, this is what I felt. This is what I did. And maybe that's what helped me always do this. But my personality generally is more easygoing, and
So it works out. I didn't realize how much that mattered, because I think of like David Blaine. He never has like this like charming personality. He always comes out looking really tense and you're like, how are you gonna trick me? And then he tricks you anyway. But like,
he still doesn't have a personality of like some guys act like. I just want to say, dude, this is not rocket science. You're not saving the world. There's not brain surgery, right?
Right.
Like, just put yourself in a certain box.
Okay.
Right? Or whatever. So I don't think Blaine looks at it that way. I think he it's his persona that he's putting across, and he is more reserved, but I don't think he's coming across as like a big deal or anything like that.
Okay. He comes in
right.
very intense.
He's very intense. Don't get me wrong. He's very intense.
He's great.
Especially while he's sewing or getting you to sew his lips up. Yes, he's very intense.
He's like really intense. You're like,
but he's not. But he's not the big deal. He's a. Okay.
okay. I don't know. You'll have
I'm trying to
to.
think of the right words. Okay.
You'll
yeah.
have to. We'll have to figure that one out. But okay, so how does this tie in? Does this tie in at all to Yiddishkeit? And like, have you tied this in? Were you told me before that you're about tshuva, right?
Yeah.
You were already doing this magic stuff before you became Orthodox? Like,
So I mean, yeah.
I'll say Orthodox, Chabad.
Chabad.
Is that Orthodox? Does that work? You know?
Depends who's listening.
I make too many Chabad jokes. It's not
Yeah,
nice.
I've been doing this since I was 8 years old and doing it more seriously since I was like 16. And working, and Baal Teshuva was maybe since I've always been interested in Yiddishkeit and started learning and everything about 15, 16 years old, but I went to Mayanot after school.
My nephew went there.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. Hananya, you might remember him from, he's
Yes.
one of Chevsky's. He went to Mayanot. I had him on the podcast. I had my nephews and my nieces on my podcast.
Very
They're
cool.
a lot of fun. I had Schiff and Hananya. Anyway, Mayanot, so you went to Mayanot as like a teenager?
I was a teenager. I was there for Mayanot second years back. Yeah. I was there for a year and a half.
So how did that affect any of this? Because it's very unique that you're like an Orthodox Jew doing all this.
Yeah, it just put the light in it. I realized that, hang on, this might be a problem. Halachically and everything. It's maybe question and ask people and find out halachically if everything I'm doing is fine. And it is. But that was the only issue then.
I just think this thing picks up straight.
Elan, but
Alright,
from
so we have to start again?
experience-
No, you're good.
From an experience point of view, it could make you more reserved. We once discussed that.
Yiddishkeit. From that point of view,
From a
yes.
performance.
Oh, as a
Yes.
performance.
Yes, very much.
He's trying to
Very
behave
much.
a little
Very
bit.
much. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Or like Ben, the gorilla.
Oh, so I had.
Okay.
I
love these prompts. What's Ben the
Yes.
gorilla? I now need to know.
I had a theatre show where during the show, there's a man in a gorilla suit comes on every now and then and does something on stage. It's like a funny joke. And there's a challenge about him coming on and you have to notice him and whatever. But the whole thing is actually just right for the end that in the end he comes onto stage and you have to spot him and you if it's very obvious, he walks into the middle of the stage and I'm messing this up. Okay, let's go back a little bit. So at the end of the show, the whole point of this, him coming on and you spotting him trying to steal a banana on stage, like coming on at like the side of the stage, happens 3 times during the show. The reason for that is because I want to build up to something at the end that I want to pass, that you're thinking about a certain thing, but something else is really happening. So at the end of the show, I'm getting a like marker behind a whiteboard. Let me just get the marker. And then as soon as I do that, I go behind the whiteboard, I get the marker, and Ben comes out and I point from behind the board. There he is. We see him. And then Ben, the gorilla, walks in front of the stage, pulls off the mask, and that's me.
Oh.
So there's instant transportation, teleportation, whatever, something cool, right? So this
that's
whole
very
thing
cool.
works
Yeah.
based on, it would still work even if you didn't build it up. But it makes it a little bit, your like, hit ratio of getting it right is far higher because of this build up during the show. Where did this come from, this idea? Other people have used something similar, but for me it came from, I can't have a lady up on stage with me doing different things. So I've done this illusion this way. There's a trick called metamorphosis, where Harry Houdini and his wife Beth created it, where he goes into the trunk, locked up, she stands on top, pulls up a cloth, drops a cloth, he's on top of the trunk and she's locked up inside.
Okay.
I can't have a lady on stage dressed and doing all this sort of stuff. So I found other clever ways of how to get a guy on stage. Also, I don't want to have a guy that it looks a little bit fagular. So I found ways of like how to do it in a different way. But
So that's where the gorilla comes from.
that's where the concept from this.
The gorilla's your lady.
The gorilla in those theater shows, yes, the gorilla. I mean, this is a while back, but the gorilla was my lady, who is a guy, and his name actually is Ben, but we call the gorilla Ben. We use him for marketing purposes, and also it was really,
that's
a lot
awesome.
of fun. It was very cool. When I did a rerun, I found like a year later, I did a rerun, and to market it, I found footage online of a gorilla escaping from a zoo. Like a real gorilla escaping from a zoo, and it was like Ben, coming to the office, like coming back to the theater.
Oh, nice.
So it was like made a whole thing about it. It was pretty cool.
So you had to like figure out a way to make it Jewish. That's
To
make it work.
My audience aren't Jewish.
No,
I
I
just don't
know.
want, for me, I don't want that.
right.
You know?
Yeah, most magicians have not most magicians, but a lot of magicians have their assistants.
If you have an assistant, it's usually a lady. Sometimes it's a like double act, or then you don't have an assistant, then it's your act. It's fine. That's your guy, friend, whatever it is. I'm a single act. So that's what it was. And then also just my language on stage and what I say and the jokes. I have a bit of a dark sense of humor sometimes. I just I enjoy all different kinds of humor, but because of who I'm trying to be in my life, I just, certain things have been, tamed down and.
Were you performing before you were religious? I mean, were you performing in shows before you were religious?
Yes, but not to the same degree. I mean, like much smaller things.
Okay.
Much smaller things. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm amazed because when you were talking about before that, like when you're a kid, you do magic. Like everybody likes magic as a kid. Like I remember my kids were doing all these magical shows. I don't remember when I was a kid or anything, but they were doing all these magical shows. And a little bit like, don't you love, like everybody kind of moves on. You're saying you like locked in.
I might move on one day. We'll see. But
so that'll be bad. You'll lose your career.
What happened
was
like
one day you're like, this is babyish.
So the only reason why I think people move on, well, not the only, whatever. One of the reasons why I think people move on is that it is babyish. But there's other magic, and the vast majority of magic, by the way, is actually very much not babyish. It's done by adults for adults, and that's the main industry of magic. Unfortunately, people see the main industry they think is clowning, and which can also be very awesome and very great if you understand the industry properly. But that's not magic. Magic is, for me and for majority of the community, magic is a adult form of entertainment, and it's an art form.
Talk about FISM.
Yeah, FISM is the world championship of magic, every 3 years held in different countries. And it just finished now. It was in Italy. Yeah. It's awesome.
Wow.
Maybe 3,500, 4,000 magicians.
Is that televised?
So no, this year's the first year that it has never been televised.
Oh, that sounds like an obvious one.
So this year's the first year that they opened 100%, and there's all politics and why, I don't know.
It's so wild.
But there's arguments about it. But this year was the first year that the performance shows were actually open up to the public, where you could buy tickets for it.
Oh.
Up until now, it's only magicians who buy tickets to the conference.
That's kind of cool that you have to perform magic in front of magicians. It's probably very, very hard.
So it's very different to what magic is. I don't enjoy that so much, to be honest. I think magic it's not magicians doing it for magicians. It's magicians doing it for people who would appreciate that.
Right. I just think in terms of honing your craft, like they all know all the tricks, so you have to.
But the show that they perform, their routines are made for this. They spend years making it just for this 7-minute act for magicians, because the judges and all that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't necessarily agree with the criteria, with everything, because that's not what magic is for. You know what I'm saying? Magic is for the public, for people to enjoy, to be wowed, to be entertained, to laugh, to be astounded, all those wonderful things. It's not for how well can you palm a coin.
Why do people like magic? I have no answer for this. I'm curious if you have an answer. Why do we like magic?
I think humans naturally want to understand. They want to believe. They want to understand. And
but magic is not about understanding.
That's why it's so cool. It's the frustration of not understanding it. But how? So I think there's something beautiful in.
The question is bigger because I have recently, like I post on TikTok, but I recently started looking at some of the reels because that's what it does. It's addictive. You don't have a choice. I wanted to, but the halacha is you have to get the main line of TikTok, and it keeps taking me to these mediums, not the mediums or the tarot card readers and all that stuff. And I know they're so popular. I don't really stop there because I don't know what to do with that. But
as fraudulent could be, it is. Sorry.
No. I don't say sorry.
Crossing over with John Edward and all this, speaking to the dead and your future, all this stuff. Is it possible? Can the concept exist? All that stuff. Yes. Beautiful. these guys are not doing it.
They're not doing
And
it.
I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you factually, these guys are not doing it.
Right.
It's a completely another world, and it is disgusting. And I spent a lot of my time against these things. I hate it. Sorry.
Well, Houdini really got started because he hated that.
Not only got started, most of his career, people don't know this because this wasn't the famous part, but most of his career his time and effort went into disproving these things. He had a big fight with one of his friends. I forgot who it was. Some big producer. His wife was one of these mediums, and he just completely schmassed her, like said what it was, and
Right.
like bashed her. But
he was fighting. I think his
he
mom
very
was
much-
very. I used to read
his
a
mom
lot
was
about.
very-
His mom was
father
really into like
was a
speaking
rabbi.
to the dead.
His mom.
His mom was very into.
He came from
mediums.
a from family.
I know, but his mom got really into like, and
that.
I think that's what bothered him about
bothered
it the
him?
most. I mean, that's what I read in one of his biographies. But he's.
Yeah, read the next one. We'll say the opposite.
You think he'll say the opposite?
No, so there's a lot about his life that is in a bit of a haze, which he did on purpose.
Well, he's very. I want to tell you something interesting. When I started in this career, so actually Harry Houdini was a big inspiration to me, which is a fascinating thing because I went to a lot of therapists as a kid, and like I'm like, they're on to something, but they're not doing it right. Like that was my feeling. Like I remember Harry Houdini was like, you get this cool magic here, but like you're not in the right league. Like this is how it should be done. Like I felt like that's what Harry Houdini was doing. Like everybody was doing it on one level, and he was just next level. It's not that they were wrong. It was just like there's a much better way. Like I could be in a milk can under the water for like I don't know for 6 months.
He's still there. We haven't brought him out yet.
He's still there. It's a sad thing that he died. I was really young. Like he wasn't that old.
Yeah.
But that really, he was a big inspiration to me. But I really am asking this question because I think it may be connected to our longing to connect to God. That like that magic is real. Like that there's something going on that's way beyond us. Like we have a desire, like always, to see the unknown. And I don't know. I'm wondering.
About magic being real and halacha and all that stuff. So if a person is doing magic for children, they halachically need to tell them, this is not real, and
Really?
And they say that they should actually teach one of the tricks. Adults, that's not as important because you hope they know that this is not real. But and I on purpose have this like statement that I'm making, all that sort of stuff. You'll be so surprised how often people believe that it's real. So much so, I can tell you stories where after a show, a lady would come to me, or not, one specific lady came to me and told me about the powers that I have and all these sort of wonderful things. I'm like, thank you. You're telling me what you think. I'm telling you factually, I don't have. She goes, don't worry. I believe in you. I'm like,
There's nothing to believe in.
what do you mean?
When you predicted the outcome of the World Cup, and she's like, but how did he know? And I looked at her and I was like, are you joking?
Why doesn't he predict the lotto? I was like,
Oh, she's still your sister.
My sister.
She knows. She knows him well.
Yeah.
no, but hang on. So again, these are all fun and whatever to like laugh at. But then you start looking at why. Why are they saying these things? And then you start, then I start saying magic's not real, but if it were, this is what it should look like. Right? Now you start understanding, you start building up something where you reframe what it is that the person's doing, and you realize, but how? Because, so example, the one my wife's talking about now is I went into studio for the FIFA Soccer World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
I had different radio stations and then a TV station as well, where I had them sign a piece of paper. This is like before the quarterfinals or something. Sign a piece of paper, and then on the other side, I privately wrote my prediction. So it's on a signed piece of paper. So I can't switch it. It's his autograph.
Mm-hmm.
Fold it up, put it into an envelope. He signs the envelope. I put stamp a hole through the envelope. We tie it onto a soccer boot, just so it looks cool. It goes into a transparent safe, and he keeps it for the last 2 weeks or whatever it is. The last week for those quarterfinals to play out, and in the end, I come back in studio. We open it up, and he opens up the envelope, and it says whichever team would win, what the score would be, and at the end, the one year I even put. Who would score the goal in what minute? And it was Gutser would score in the 113th minute. That was in 2014, I think. That was the last one that I can remember.
Like that specific.
Right. Now, the room was just silent. You had like 5 presenters commenting about the game and all this stuff, and there's just silence. And I'm thinking, shucks, did they see what I did? Like, why is it just silence? Because it's live TV. And then the guy goes, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, and he starts, and you realize, okay, so now if you see that, either you're thinking, and the logical thing to think would be someone set something up, someone's cheating. That's, I think, the logical thing to think.
Yeah.
Some people don't think that way, and they thought, but how?
Yeah.
Why don't you just predict the lotto? The one guy who's sitting there, I don't know if you know much about soccer. I don't. A friend of mine told me one of the anchors are going to be a guy, Ian Wright. Ian Wright is a famous player for Liverpool. Used to be a famous player for Liverpool.
Okay.
Used to be. Now he's lost all his money because he lost it via gambling. So when this happened, they go, how, whatever. And then I just hear this one guy. I don't know which one's Ian Wright.
Right.
One guy goes, hey, you can go to the bookies with that. I'm like, Ian Wright.
That's the one.
Yeah. Spotted. But if you see these things, or let's say as example, not making a coin vanish, but imagine you think of something. This can't be done, but you can do something that will make them feel this way. You think of something, someone who's very close to you, and I just read your mind and I tell you that person's name.
Right.
Now, you can't do that, but you can do something that will have you remember that. Remember what I told you in the beginning of this podcast?
Right.
About the coin? What you remember, what you tell your friends, the most important part. This is what I'm referring to. So I can do something where I would read your mind. I tell you the person you're thinking of, someone very close to you, someone that you love, Samantha, Shoshana, whatever. Right?
Okay.
You're like, oh my God, this guy freaking read my mind. Now, that's not magic. He didn't levitate. So maybe he can read minds. He didn't go through a wall or teleport or levitate. Maybe that is real. And halachically, that's not what halachically is talking about, that you're doing magic. But now you can understand why people are thinking, like, it's not so silly of them to think it's real. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I laugh at it and everything, and then you start thinking, you're laughing just because you know, Ilan, not because you learned, not because you know it's not real. You only know it because you learned it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But everybody else thinks it's real. I think...
Well, everyone else.
Okay, so I'll tell you, my favorite documentary I ever watched, this is literally, I think it's my favorite. Maybe there are better ones, but there's something called Kumare. It's the name of a documentary. It's Kumare, for anybody who wants to look it up. Anyway, Kumare is a guy from New Jersey. He's from Indian descent, right? East mid-Asian Indian, not Native American. So he's Indian, and he studied religion, and he was very deeply religious, Hindu, whatever, for a big part of his life. And then he kind of became secular and became a film, like someone who does film. And he decided for a film that he is going to start a religion for the film. That he's going to become the guru, and he built everything you need to become the guru. And it goes from hilarious to very serious. Like it's total like craziness. Like but he does everything. He has his backup people. You have to watch it because he literally from beginning to end, it's amazing. The beginning to end, he builds this whole world in Arizona. Like he grew his hair long and his beard long, and he looks like, like a wise Indian guy, and he's teaching them, he's making up fake meditations, fake ideas. He's just just throwing them everything. And what ends up happening is at the end, he ends up with like a following. And I'm going to ruin it because we should watch it.
I'm gonna watch
but
it, yeah.
At the end, he has to come out and talk to them and tell them. So that you have to watch. But they probably didn't
believe him when he said it was fake.
I don't want to ruin it because I feel like everybody should watch it. But
I'm going to watch it, yeah.
when I watched that, I was like, this is a comedy show. This is a magic show gone bad. Like it was like people are
Good show.
yeah, it was a really good one. By the way, he got pulled in. That was a crazy one. Like he kind of got like, oh my God, I'm saving people. And he was. That's what ended up happening is that he became like when I judge these, like you said before, they're totally fake, the mediums or whatever. When I judge them, I think that they see after, in the beginning it starts as a scam, and I think they probably at some point go, it's a scam, but it's helping people. Like I think a lot of them probably get pulled in and go like, okay, whatever. It's not the worst thing. I tell this guy love is coming and they're gonna meet a man. Yeah, there are men. He's probably gonna meet a man, you know. And like then they meet a man, and they think it's magical, and you know, like so maybe.
Or even if you connect them to their deceased loved ones, I'm giving them hope. I'm giving them belief. They feel warm and comfortable.
I've never heard one of them say, "Your loved one's here." He still thinks you're rotten, and he doesn't forgive you. I've never heard that.
And also, none of them have ever gone, check behind the couch, cut a hole at the back, you'll see millions. Like,
right. The treasure is under the porch. They never say that. But they never say negative things. So, like, you're like, and everybody's crying and feeling special, and, like, I could see how they get pulled in. Anyway, but
I think humans, this is the like Jewish thing, and this is where I think it's so important and so, God forbid, dangerous, is that people want to believe.
Yeah.
In something. Like it says, you are going, you know, like within Torah, like for a fact, human beings, you are going to be a slave. You choose who you're going to be a slave to. You're going to be a slave to money, to your boss, to your clients, to whatever, to society, to fashion, or to God. But you're going to be a slave, right? So it isn't about yes or no. It's about who's going to be your master. So to here, I think as well that you want to believe. Humans want to believe. So yes, there's atheists and all that stuff, and have a good discussion with them. How many of them are actually atheists? I've got an interesting story about a very good friend of mine who's atheist. But people, I really believe the majority of people.
Say the story. You're gonna want to
believe. Yeah.
Say it when you think about it. What's the story? The atheist.
That story. I'm kidding. I remember that. So a friend of mine.
I'm starting to understand your mind. Yeah. It's very jumpy. I like it.
Rich Mulholland, a friend of mine, is a born Christian. I don't know which sect or denomination or whatever it is, but a born Christian, and he's an atheist.
There you go. I set that up before the show.
No, of course. No, this is the one I set up. This is your one here. So the first time I met him, and he's a very big speaker. He's spoken on TEDx. I think he actually had a TED talk. He speaks around the world. Wonderful. The first time I met him, and he reads a lot. He's a genuine nice guy, a good guy. So first time I met him, the first time this happened to me, he had his office call to say, Rich knows that you're religious. He would like to know what restaurant are you comfortable to sit at. No one has ever, even Jews don't do that. Even irreligious Jews are not happy to, whatever, back in South Africa. They're going.
They're like, you coming where we're going.
So, yeah. So, okay, that's pushing it a bit, but fine. Yeah. So we went somewhere, and before my bum hits the seat, he goes, just so you know, I'm an atheist, but I've met some of you Chabad guys, and you guys are different. I was like, okay, so this guy knows of it.
All right.
Like in our relationship, like over the time, the one time he was putting his kid to sleep, and he sent me a video of Hasidim from some other group singing a nigun around a table. He goes, I'm putting my kids to sleep to this. This is beautiful. What does this mean? I was like, I don't know what it means. It was just, yeah. It's just a beautiful nigun. I don't even know the story behind it. It's not a Chabad nigun. But I'm saying the guy's very worldly known and fine. So the one time he tells me, and on his arm, he's got a lot of tattoos. On his arm, he's got a tattoo of the Islamic sign, the Salem, and a Mochen David. And underneath it says, question everything. So I was like, okay, that's cool. But because you don't understand those, and I'm not disagreeing with two of them, but because you don't understand them, therefore they're all wrong and atheist is true. You should I don't know what the sign for atheist is, but you should have that there also. It's like, maybe. Yeah, okay, cool. So the one time he says to me that...
Is there a sign? There's no sign for atheist.
I've got no idea.
That'd be cool, though.
Maybe no sign is the
I consider atheists the Hasidics of the agnostics. Like, they're very religious.
Yeah.
Anyway.
How do you know someone's an atheist? He'll tell you. Always things, right? No, so some of the ideas that they talk about, I'm like, yeah, I agree with you. We don't believe in that either. That's biggest bollocks.
So
That's
what
nonsense.
happened with him?
Fine. So what happened with him was he said, thank you for steering me back.
No
he
problem.
said, he was like, I'm really impressed by Jews that you guys have Shabbos, because, like no matter what's going on in your life, like have you not ever had a request, a gig, and money is tight, and it's like, and it's on Shabbos, but you can't do it. So like, how do you do it? What do you do? So, well, yeah, that's happened, and you don't do it. So, well, if it's on Saturday night, whatever, and I can sleep there, which happens often, yes, but if it's on Shabbos, you can't do it, no matter how bad things are. Fine. So he says, like, my family, him, his wife, and his 2 kids, we have our Shabbos. What is our Shabbos? Our Shabbos is equivalent of yours, is saying, is that each of their birthdays and their, I think, wedding anniversary, they have to be together. No matter what's going on in the world, nothing's happening, you have to be together. I was like, beautiful. But like, it's not the same. Why? Because you chose those, God chose ours. Right. Technically, logically, it's also logistically, yours is 5 days a year, ours is every Shabbos, Yom Tovim, fine. Good. He's not, it's the same thing. Okay, fine. I said, but you can change yours. He goes, no, I can't. I said, fine, I don't agree. We argue, good, finished, and that's it. A couple of months later, he phones and answers the phone. He goes, I have to say I'm sorry. I go, well, okay. Why? He goes, remember we were talking about this? Yeah. So I know where he's going, but I'm also a bit of a... I said, yeah. So tell me what happened.
You're a showman.
No, I want him to say
build it up.
Yeah. So he says, well, what happened was I've got this big gig coming up in Dubai, and it's going to open up so much work for me, and I have to do it. But it's on, I think it was Bailey's birthday, one of his children's birthday. I can't remember which. I think Bailey's birthday. So he said, so obviously he's phoned to apologize. I know what he did. Right, but I said, so what did you do, Rich? I was like, it must be so hard for you to turn it down. So he's like, we're like good friends. So we joke about it, and he goes, I sat her down, and we just, I spoke about it, why it's important, and the money, and also for my career and everything, and she understands, and we'll all go together as a family somewhere afterwards, whatever the story is. But he understands how, his was chosen, and ours, we the chosen, or we chose God, or God chose us, but we have Torah, and we have Shabbos. Hashem gave it to us, and we don't get to choose when and what and whatever.
Right.
So it's how that's...
I don't know why you told that story, but it's awesome. I love how you made him squirm so much.
Well, so whatever, yeah. Don't worry,
he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine, and he's done similar to me. It's all right. Let me show you something.
Okay. Yeah, also I wanted to ask you about mentalism. That was...
So, yeah. The time is 22. I'm going to set... There we go. I'm going to ask you, can you think of... There we go. Not to get too personal, but can you think of something that happened to you in your life, something that's very special, something that's very meaningful, but the time that it happened?
Think of the time that something happened in my life. I got to remember the time.
And you can be as specific as you would like with the time. On the hour, or you can go down to the minute.
Hold on a second. I got to think of something. I'm not great with times when something happened.
I know you're late for today.
Yeah. Okay. Something specific. And then I'm trying to think of something that I remember the time for. I was like, I'm trying to think of like my kids' birthdays or something. I don't know. When they were born, I'm saying. But I can't remember anybody's times.
Do you remember their names?
I remember their names. I want to say they're like 6 or 7. No, I'm kidding. My kids are much older. It's an old Norm Macdonald joke that every time you ask him about his kid, sorry, we'll get back to the trick in a second. But every time you ask him about, we work together. This is good. Norm Macdonald, he'd be on a show and they'd say, how's your kid? And he's like, oh yeah, how old is your kid? He says, I want to say 6 or 7. And then it's totally never true. He's like 16 years old. He just makes up another. Anyway, I want to say 6 or 7. Oh my God. Okay, a time, something special, a time. You have to do another trick with me because I can't think of anything. One second. All right, I got it. Okay, should I tell you the time?
Yeah, tell us all. We can all hear.
6 o'clock was
On the dot. After all of that, you couldn't even...
My wedding was called for 6. What's funny about it is I was late.
Surprise. Yeah.
I was very late.
6 on the dot, not 6:05, not 2:06. You're saying 6 o'clock.
I mean, it was called for 6.
Yeah, okay, fine.
It didn't. I mean, I'm just thinking about the invitation. It was called for 6.
6
as far
o'clock.
as I
Okay,
know.
cool.
Okay.
So, it's whatever. Okay. It's free. That's your choice, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Catch.
Yeah. All right. Okay,
time do I
guys.
choose?
The time is 6 o'clock. Okay, you guys seeing this? I don't know how you zoom in. Holy
Don't zoom in.
cow.
You go like this.
Exactly 6 o'clock.
That's all.
That was amazing. That was amazing.
That was amazing. Can I tell you something interesting?
I believe that you're a magician.
Can I tell you something interesting?
Yeah, go on.
I asked you for a time of something that happened to you in your life and the exact time, and we know the magic's not real, but you didn't just give me a time. You had to actually think of something that was the real time for that. Do you think it makes a difference?
That what?
There had to be. You couldn't. If you said 6:05, I would still be able to read your mind and still be able to do it. It didn't have to be.
course.
Do you understand? Do you see what I'm getting at here?
That I could have made up another time?
You're so focused on had to be the real time for the real moment that you were thinking.
Okay.
So you were playing into the game.
Okay. What am I supposed to do?
That, but I'm saying like
Okay.
other people could you could also go when my child was born 5:28. Make up a time 5:28. No, it's like it would still work.
Well, I would tell you
When
what
it's real,
came up was,
Okay.
but
getting
it
too
wasn't my
specific.
life.
Okay.
But there's a movie that I watched, and the time was he was gonna tell this girl he loved her at 1:27. That was the perfect time. That's what came to my head right away. But I was like, that's
You
not
said
my
that,
life.
That's cool.
But that's
cool.
what makes it a meaningful moment.
Right, because it's me.
Yeah.
And because that's what Ilan wants to do. He wants to make it personal. He wants to make it meaningful. So it doesn't matter how the trick's done, it's how they feel afterwards.
I feel tricked.
I feel violated.
I'm amazed. I don't know how these things work, and I really love it. Wait a minute. So okay, is that mentalism more than magic?
So mentalism is a fancy word given
yes.
to something that is magic. Same methods, same methodology, same mindset, same everything. It's just it seems to do with the mind. Seems to deal with the mind.
Really?
That's mentalism. Mentalism is another word for magic trick, but it focuses on, instead of saying levitating or something being penetrated or whatever, it focuses on influencing you in some way, or reading your mind in some way, or predicting the future in some way, whatever.
Right.
Or that
But
realm
it's a
of things.
trick.
Yeah, it's a trick.
I mean,
It happens to be a tricks that are far more often taken to be real. Because there's nothing. You can often do it with nothing, right? So
right there, I don't know. I
Right.
just think you predicted exactly the time.
that I did. But I'm saying generally, yeah, you're right. So often that is what it's much easier for people to believe that is real. Yeah.
Right. So I feel like when I go to more adult type things, they do a lot of mentalisms. Like,
So if it's
No?
funny, yeah, but only the last couple of years, like 15 odd years, I found that mentalism has become like a really big thing. I used to only do magic and illusions, not because I was against mentalism, just that's what worked, that's what sold, that's what people wanted. Now it seems when I started traveling to the States 7 years ago, I started realizing nowhere on any of my pamphlets, any of my marketing, anywhere does it say mentalism. I started to get introduced as a mentalist. Like, where's this coming from? I don't know, but I'm not going to find it. I enjoy mentalism. I never did it because I thought that wasn't what was wanted. Now that's what's becoming popular. People are saying it and wanting it, and I enjoy it, so why not put it in?
well,
I
it's
love it,
weird
actually.
because my experience, I'm like feeling it right now. Like I hate it. Like I don't even say that. Like I feel like the sucker, like the butt of the joke. I love comedy. I just talk about Norm Macdonald. I love comedy, and I for years was terrified to go to a comedy show because I don't want to be picked on as the butt of the joke. Like for some reason, like I don't even know why. It's not like I was bullied as a kid. I really didn't have that level of trauma, but like
I don't think
I'm
you
the
need that
sucker.
level. I don't think you need that level of trauma to not want to be picked on.
Right.
To be the
But
bad.
so even when I go to a mentalist thing, I'm like, please don't pick on me. Like, don't.
I'm the same, by the way.
Really?
If I'm not the one on stage, please leave me alone. I don't want to come. That's why also I really respect the people coming up on stage.
I don't get it. I feel like it's a different type of person. Like it feels like a certain level of confidence. Like,
Yes,
bring
and
it.
also there's a lot of psychology or a lot of ideas and of how you should bring them up on stage to make them feel more comfortable, and it can change over the time of your performance. First of all, if the first person, and this is what I find very hard, the first person says no, they don't want to come up, it makes the show so much harder in so many ways. It gives permission for so many other people to say no. It changes the momentum of the show and the timing and everything and the jokes. And it only happens in From Jewish shows where they sit there like this. You know, like, okay, so don't pick that guy, right? But, you know, first of all, so...
That's why you say, do I have a volunteer?
So,
Is that why they say that?
oh, I don't know, maybe this is a nice way of saying, but there are certain ways how to encourage them to come up. Now, later, and also I say when the first person comes up, I say, and it's easier for me in general because my personality is a lot easier going. It just makes things easier. So I say to them, you know, if anything goes wrong, you know, please don't stress. I'll take care of it. This is my job. Later on, by the last trick, I'll say, just so you know, if this doesn't work, this is your fault. It's not mine. Right? But by now, they've had me on stage for an hour. They know I'm joking, and you know, and they've seen the kind of stuff like I'm not serious about it. The magic's good and it works and it's powerful and has messages or whatever. But I take things pretty calm. So I can only do that later on. If I did anything in the beginning, I really have to work hard not to, you know, like to get them to come up easily. So it just makes the other flow so much easier. Like one of my lines would be, in general, if you see me looking your direction and pointing to you and you find yourself doing this, then you know I'm speaking to you, right? Another thing is you don't bring them up straight away like that. You would call someone and from where they're seated, just talk to them.
Right.
Just have a conversation. Where you're from, or a whole bunch of stuff, a few seconds. I saw someone else do this and I was like, that is just brilliant. So I started doing it. And then while they're talking, go, do me a favor, let's have this, let's continue this conversation up on stage. Now they've already answered 3 questions. They kind of already down the path that they can't really back out so much as it makes it harder for them to back out. But also more importantly, it makes it more comfortable for them to come with you because they're already talking to you and, you know.
Right.
And you don't pick people that are like this. You pick people that are laughing, that are open, and they generally, it makes things easier.
Wow. Well, what are you said there are lessons along the way. Like what are you giving over ideas?
Depends on the show. So,
Okay.
It's interesting, actually. A lot of corporates or businesses start up by going, we have a 3-day conference and I'm going to be on the last day for the closing out and whatever. Our conference theme is this and the byline and all stuff. And we come up with ideas and then you start getting closer to the conference. Things change and you start to finalize things and they go, you know what? We're planning the whole conference and just give them fun. Right, just have fun. They're working 3 days for hard, and often they just want fun at the end.
Right.
Other times it's whatever. It's like their corporate stuff, like 3 pillars that they're following on, that everything stands on. And I'll come up with a trick that uses 3. Everyone has 3 cards. You print out cards. Each person gets a card, one saying per card. And then when they follow what I do on stage with these cards, large cards, I make like, oh, there's a camera on me, and they follow, the magic will happen in their hand. And these are the 3 main foundational things that they're working on. And we talk about them during the trick. And the magic happens in their hands with those cards.
That's really cool.
So it's very cool. Yeah.
So you're like
Very cool.
very personalizing the magic.
Yeah.
Well, even at a Sheva Brocha, he's got a stunning thing for the Chosed and
Oh,
Kala.
Chosed and Kala. I got an awesome piece for the Chosed and Kala.
Oh,
Awesome.
really?
Yeah.
You can't say it
I
because
can say it. Yeah, I can say it. I have the Chosed choose a card, and he signs his name on the card. Or sorry, he prints his name on the card in nice big bold letters.
right.
And then she chooses a separate card, and she signs. Again, sorry, she prints her name on the card, not a signature. Nice and big. You take both of those cards separately. We talk about So the one card goes in the top half of the pack, one goes in the bottom. We talk about two different cards in two different parts of the pack, just like two people in two different parts of life. And you go through the pack and you see one card is turned over, and that's her card. You fix her card, give a click, open up the pack, the second card is turned over, it's his card. And you show that they're actually next to each other. They found each other in the pack. Then you take both of those cards separately. And if it's Goyim, you have them hold each other's hands. If it's a Yid, because we're from, I'll play the part of your hand. They're like, we make jokes about it. But I put both of the cards back to back on his hand. Take both cards, put them both back to back on his hand. I cover his hand and talk about how two different people came together to become one. Well, tonight, and you open up your hand, two cards have come together to become one. And it's a card that has a card on both sides.
Wow.
Their names are signed on both sides. And it's not the thickness of two cards stuck together.
It's one
That's the whole thing about Yiddishkeit, about the Neshamas. The two people have truly chosen to become one, and it's a single card, and they get to keep it forevermore. And that is how I got her to say yes.
What?
Yeah.
Wait. Tell me
cheated
that. You did that trick on her?
That's one of the things I did, yeah.
No
Yeah.
way.
It's pretty cool, yeah.
What, you like,
Well,
guys?
she said no many times before, so I thought I had to, do something else.
Is that a joke or real?
No.
I have a similar story.
That's not why I did the trick, but she did say no quite a few times. She just said that I'm not going to marry you. Well, I didn't ask her to marry me. She just said that I'm not a type, or long story. That's another podcast. But when we were going out and I was going to propose, I advertised on a big live advertising board, which I've done magic on as well. Those things is pretty cool. I've got a cool story for you.
Okay.
And then also I had done this trick to her.
Maybe it's like a digital board?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
called a billboard, but it changes, and it's.
I actually
it's
saw
like
that
a
in South
video
Africa for
thing.
the first time. The ones that actually is digital.
Yeah, so it's a friend of
like-
mine's family's business.
That's a
They have-
business? That's what my brother-in-law Paul was saying. It was like a friend of his also.
Yeah,
So they did
it's
probably.
Orenstein.
Right. He's
Yeah.
like, that's my friend's thing.
Yeah, they have a whole bunch of them around.
So you could do magic
around
on that.
Johannesburg. No, so what I did was, this is awesome. So first of all, I proposed on that. And I was like, imagine there's another guy, Ilan, and another lady, Shani, who's driving, and she's like, he's in trouble now. But, so what I did was, I was in radio. I went into radio studio. South Africa is very into sports, right? So for the Soccer World Cup around the world, that's what I did. But for some other sporting event,
Rugby World Cup.
the Rugby World Cup,
Mararire.
that's it. The Rugby World Cup, I went into studio. It was 5 weeks. I went in every week. And I did something for John Robbie, he's a famous radio guy back there, or was,
Okay.
he's off the air. And I did something something visual that he would explain to the audience, and something that the magic would happen outside the studio. Something would happen that they can experience the magic driving to work or whatever. So the one was, I gave him an envelope to sit on, a big envelope, sit on it. And I had playing cards, but instead of printed on the card, it was just blank white. And
Right.
I wrote different player names on each card. And he used to be a rugby player for Ireland. So he shuffles up the cards and he takes half of them and he throws them away, takes the other half, throws them away, he shuffles them. In the end, he's left with one single card. He turns it over and it was Tendai Mararire. He's a Zimbabwean player who plays for South Africa. He now lives in South Africa. They call him the Beast. He's like a beast.
Okay.
Right? And I say, well, I predicted you would choose the Beast. In that envelope, I take it out, and I've got a photograph of Tendai. And I take it out, and there's a photograph of this little black baby. He's a sweet little kid. It's like, that's Tendai when he was 6 months old. And he jokes, and I go, but you obviously know me better than that. And you open up the thing, it opens up big, and there's a picture of Tendai at whatever age playing rugby as a South African player. So like, wow, that's impressive. I said, but this is in radio. People have to believe us. I don't like that. Also, in that envelope, there is an advert. I took an advert in today's newspaper, and you go to whatever page, people are driving and go take that, they go buy the paper and whatever. And on whatever page it was, it says, hey, John, thank you for your time in studio, and thank you for picking Tendai Mararire. And I said, but I also know people are lazy. Who wants to get out their car to go buy a newspaper for the proof? So I took out an advert on the live advertising signs. So if anyone has seen those billboards, can you please call in? And then in the video, you see all people call like lighting up, all the things lighting up. He goes like, John, I'm on whatever freeway in Vereeniging, like an hour away. He goes like, I saw this like 10 minutes ago. Like, what does this mean? And I saw it, John. It's crazy. And then the next guy calls, like, John, I'm wherever, and I saw this. And it was fantastic.
Wow.
And that was actually my wife's idea, but it was powerful, just brilliant.
And because he could have it on every advertisement at once.
All over. It was all over. It was fantastic.
Wow.
I think that 50 or 40 something like throughout Johannesburg.
I just wonder what the newspaper sales were like that day.
Did
So
you-
ask for commission.
That's the only
affiliate link. No,
What are
it was-
newspapers?
Yeah.
Anyway, no. Yes, kids, what newspapers are.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait. So how did you propose? You
No, it was
Just like that.
like that.
It was like
on,
that?
on the live advertising board. Oh, so
It was in a gas station.
I was way more nervous. Yeah, it sounds all nice until you hear that we were in a gas station. So I went to their biggest sign was in a certain part of Sandton back in Johannesburg. I think they've actually moved it, but it was there, and opposite it on the other corner is a gas station. So I wanted to propose at this one. So we went there and we went to go get drinks inside.
You proposed at a gas station?
Yeah.
Okay. Story's not as good as I thought it was going to be. Just all right, go on.
So I said, it sounds all nice, but until you hear this part.
Right.
And then, so the trick had been done the night before. That wasn't part of this. But we were in the gas station, and I forgot, because it's a live advertising. Your advert plays for X amount of seconds, 10 seconds, 50, whatever it is, and it goes on to the next, right? And it takes a minute or so, or 2 minutes for it to go through the thing. Okay. So my friend, Ari, it's his family's business, told me my advert is coming out after whatever advert. So, okay, fine. We get there, and we just missed it. We got in and buy drinks. We come outside, and I just missed it. And I go,
Did you get to call him back?
no, I'm waiting. I just have to wait for the
It's a
for the next
loop.
cycle.
Oh, okay.
But now I have to also buy time. It's like a minute or whatever, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it is. But I'm nervous because I'm proposing, And I already knew she was going to say yes at this stage. So, but still, I'm nervous. I had to start thinking of things. And she's like, I was like blabbering. And then finally, I then proposed.
Actually,
then it
he
popped up.
said, one day you're going to see my name up there.
I don't know what.
And that's how he got me to look up at the screen. And actually, I think maybe 10 years into our marriage, not on that billboard, but on another one on the main highway, he had his billboard for one of his theatre shows.
For like 2 months it was up. It was
Oh,
massive. It
right.
was huge things. It was for that show with that gorilla thing. And that's how that show ended. That show was called Imagine, and it ended with that gorilla thing. That was one that was advertised there. It was not on the live one, on the one that I was talking about. That's
Just a regular billboard.
huge,
There you
but
go.
it was over the highway. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was very cool. Like I
But I
never
did end
expected
up
that.
marrying Peter Pan. He really doesn't.
He doesn't grow up.
No,
That's awesome.
that's amazing.
It's interesting because in my work, which is I didn't get to talk about much because this is kind of a different world, but I'm always seeing similarities, is that I'm a whatever. My philosophy, and I'm writing a book with this title, is that addicts are big babies. That's the name of the book, and that's the name of our whole philosophy. And basically, the idea is that addiction is a developmental disorder where you're basically stuck at this baby stage where you're much more in tune with your baby, meaning your spiritual self, your curious self, but it also comes with emotions are really, really hard and you don't know how to cope with them. And so it's based on that idea. But a lot of discussions that happen in the homes that we have, because we have a lot of great discussions. A lot of discussions are, what is the purpose of the inner baby or the inner adult, or because we're basically as adults just trying to kill off the baby. We're always saying shh, stop bothering me. I'm trying to get my things done. But all creativity and all excitement and all magic comes from the baby. So it's we have to light up the baby. I actually, when I was asking the question of why people love magic so much, I think that's our baby. Our baby wants to believe things, and things should be magical. When I was telling my kids stories when they were kids, I could say whatever I want, and there's a part of them that's just dying to believe it. They're like, oh, a monkey's on the roof and he's eating falafel, and it doesn't matter what you say. It's it's like they want to believe because there's a part of us, like a part of our soul that just wants to believe in something way bigger and much more magical than ourselves.
So
Right. Sorry, that's what I said. Where I think people want to believe. That's what I was saying earlier about that
children,
lady.
Ilan, are closer to God because they've just been born, or they're much younger. They haven't been exposed to all the worldly things. So when Ilan does show magic to kids, if like parents have asked, or at Camp Simcha, like the kids who are there, their neshamas are younger. Their souls are more connected to God, and they don't question Ilan. Those children are not, how's it done? Well, they just enjoy it.
They're like,
Accept.
yeah, there's a part of us, and I'm saying I think that's the reason why adults love it, is that there's a part of us that's still alive. That baby ain't dead. It's still going. I really want to believe in the magic. I want to believe that it's real. I want to believe something greater. I don't know. Watch
question.
Kumare. Just
Yeah, I will. No question. Honestly, that's what I said earlier. People want to believe. It's like if we went to a person's house back in South Africa for a Shabbos lunch, and I saw on their shelf there were quite a few books from Crossing Over with John Edward. Yeah, the guy John Edward. And I was like, being from home, I didn't know that they actually believed this sort of stuff. So I'd spoken about it at the table, and I realized that was the last time I've ever done it without someone first asking. And the mother of the house was really upset because, of course, it's real. And people want to believe. And that's where all of these things, it's easier to prove to someone. It's harder to prove to them that it's fake than it is for someone who doesn't believe in something to believe that it's real. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like so much so that I've even had discussions with people about Uri Geller, where they saw something he did, which used sleight of hand, which uses trick methods. So they knew that was fake. But everything else he did, they still believe in.
right.
I'm like, dude, you just told me. He goes, yeah, but that was this. Other things, I don't know how it's done. It must be real. Like, but if it's real, if he could do that, wouldn't he do this one, that you bust him on for real also? Like,
Does it really frustrate you when people
does.
believe that stuff?
It really, really does.
It drives me a little crazy too. Could you tell me like just a basic? I mean, could you expose a little bit like what exactly are they doing? Like,
Which I can tell you as much as you want.
Right. No.
Those guys. Will tell you,
okay, let's say right now. Could you like do the on me like just because I want to understand like you find someone who's dead in my life or something. Could you do that?
I can't do that. But I can tell you how. I can tell you how
would
it's
it be
done.
Yeah,
and I can tell you whatever I can. So this is quite a long discussion. It's a podcast in and of itself.
fine. We're in the middle of a podcast.
Okay, but it depends how long you want this one to go, because it's not just 1 + 1 = 2. You know what I'm saying? So there's.
Can't you show him something?
Okay, but we're talking about specifically about this sort of stuff.
No, I'm curious about this because this stuff is wild. I have all these books in my house,
So it's
and there are
important-
people in my house that definitely believe this.
So it's important for people to know
Sorry.
that. Right. So the reason why I'll say it and I'll expose as much as possible is because it's important that people know that it's not true. Okay. So there's numerous methods. Let's go from very crude to like more refined methods. Very crude would be there's something called, okay, never mind about the crudeness. Something called cold reading. Now, everything I'm saying, put into there's more, and then you'll see the whole picture.
Right.
So cold reading is understanding what you're saying and then I can see a little bit more into it. And this is the only real skill that they have. It's a skill that you can learn. Ian Rowland, I believe it is an author of a fantastic book about cold reading.
Say the name again.
Ian Rowland.
Ian Rowland. Okay.
Okay. So, and the idea is, as example, you would give 2 options, and when one is wrong, you'll go down the second path. You will not apologize for this path. You will not apologize for being wrong. You'll just naturally go through this path. That also opens up into 2, and you keep on doing this. As example, you came to see someone about, it's your It's your grandfather. No, so let's say you're coming to see about a grandparent. I will refer to as your grandfather. You'll say, no, you'll like show no. You'll say, so your grandmother is what I won't apologize for the grandfather's statement. I'll just naturally go on to the
But
grandmother.
that's starting with knowing there's a grandparent.
Right.
Okay.
So again,
okay.
put everything into
Gotcha.
it's a massive thing. Fine. Now, most of these things are done in groups of people. There's shows. Let's talk about these ones first, not individual meetings. We can talk about that afterwards. So in shows, first of all, when you go see them, most, if not all, you have to sign a non-disclosure document about what goes on inside. You're not allowed to talk about. Why?
I don't know.
Good question. Why? Right? Number two, the show on TV is half an hour. The taping is like 2.5 hours or 3 hours, whatever it is, what's been cut out. Here's the main one, is that when you go there to speak to, let's say I'm going there to speak to my late mother. I have something in mind.
Right.
When I get there, when I'm sitting down, he'll start off by saying, just so you know, this is not a absolute perfect science. I'm making up the words, but the concepts.
Yeah.
This is not absolute science. You're going to be coming here for a certain person, whatever it is. However, understand that sometimes they want to speak to you through someone else. So I need you to open up your mind a little bit, open up your connections, and it might come through another family member of yours. So now instead of you thinking of this person, you're now thinking of 15 people, or you're now thinking of 8 people. So if you have 100 people in your audience, each of them came for one person, or let's say some of them are couples or whatever. So you're looking at 75 people. Now all of a sudden you're looking at like 600 people that can come through, right? That I can get hooks on, right? So they call that opening up the net.
Okay.
Right? So you're going to be much easier to be able to catch fish. Now,
You have no idea how excited I am that you're doing this right now.
Now, another thing, in the lobby beforehand, this is where this is fraud, and just, at least that was skill. This is disgusting. They have people going around beforehand, and they have drinks, and people walking around, and before it's caught into the theater, and I'll go up to you and go, hey man, sure, nice to meet you. My name's Ilan. My mom passed away 11 years ago. Today's actually a yacht Alexandra, Rachel, Bas, Esther. Yitzchak.
Right.
So I'm here to see my mother.
Wait, is
your
that
story?
true?
No, it's true. Yes. It's actually my mom's yahrzeit today.
Oh,
14th
wow.
of Av. That's what I just remember. Sorry.
Shama Shavalia.
Oh, man, thank you.
Sorry.
So I actually am here to see her. I'm not here to see her. Today is her yahrzeit.
Okay.
So you tell the guy, I'm here to see my mother. What's your story? You start talking to me about stuff. I'm sorry, I really hope that you get to connect. Meantime, either it's being recorded or I'm taking notes for you and I'm going to tell them afterwards. Right? So they know the guy
They're
with the white
spotters
shirt.
or whatever.
Yes, and they go around to a bunch of people and they get that information. Fine. The next thing, and you can go on YouTube and see this. They have some of them. John Edward doesn't do this. Other people do, where they have their spouse, their partner, their producer giving them information into their ear.
Right.
And you've had people in their theaters with radios going onto the same frequency and busting them.
But I have seen that.
You see that? It's insane, right?
Right.
Right. So now all of these things together, they still have the last thing is, I told you about cold reading. Hot reading is when nothing works, you have plants in the audience.
Oh, okay.
So a lady's coming through, a lady, like whatever age, Samantha, whatever, and if no one's answering, they're going to go, yeah, that's me, and they're there to protect you, to be able to catch you, right? To say, yeah, that's me, that's my mother, and then he'll do something very quick with them, and then he'll move on to something else completely to go back to the audience.
Right.
Other things are, if you are looking for your grandmother, I know what generation that is. I'm not going to go for, her name was Scar, it was Violet. I'm not going to go for those names. I'm going to go for a Margaret, a Sarah, or whatever.
Why do they do that one?
Because they're trying to work it out. That's nonsense. No, they so as
do they get you to say something?
I went with a friend of mine it was actually magic, but they threw in a little bit of the stuff, which I was irritated. And his name's Darren Blumenthal. So you're thinking of someone, with an M. I'm just making up M. I don't know what it was. With M, he goes, is it Margaret? He goes, no, but it is now.
That's awesome.
Right. So remember, most of these people, not everyone, most of the people are there to find. So I want you to connect me to my mother. Just like, I want this to work more than you want this to work.
So this is always wrong. These guys.
I have never seen someone that is real, straight, and direct.
Okay.
Why do these people? Why? My mom never stuttered her entire life, but if she's going to talk to me through you, she's not going to be clear. Why would she not just tell you straight out? Why do you have to go? She says saying something about this, something about that. What, she traveled in Shemayim to tell you something, and she's now not speaking. You know what I'm saying? Like, what?
It's hard to read it because it's hard to see.
Very nice. So she has all this ability to do this. Like,
Yeah, but
I'm
it's
just,
still.
okay. It is. They have. I mean, I can tell you many stories of things like. Again, you can watch on YouTube of a interviewer interviewing one of these people about a girl that had passed away. She shows photographs of the girl and everything. The interviewer is showing photographs of this girl, little lady that passed away, and this person's taking it, and you feel that unfortunately it was a very brutal murder and it was all terrible. And the interviewer goes, "It's actually a picture of me when I was 5 years old." Whoopsie. Other things where they talk about other stuff, and the person passed away, and they find out actually they were lost and whatever, or they were kidnapped, and they were perfectly fine afterwards, and they then came home.
Oh wow!
Nothing is ever. Like, why is there not enough stuff coming out that is real? That is that you can, that without a question of a doubt, you can see that's what it is. Go to any of these guys, any of these psychics. No scheduling of appointments or anything. Just walk in. They're not expecting you.
Right.
Why? Why they're not expecting you?
Well, these guys really mess me up because it makes me not want to believe anybody. I happen to
And
know.
also, sorry. Last thing, or two things. One, Penn and Teller have, you know Penn and
Fool
Teller?
me, yeah, fool.
Fool us. So
Fool us, yeah.
they've got lots of other things. They've got a series of things called bullshit.
Okay.
That's the program's name. I don't agree with all of the things that they say, and the Penn is a big atheist and everything.
Well, not they say, only one says.
You're right. No, they actually both speak.
Oh, they talking that one?
Teller doesn't speak as part of his stage thing, but he does speak.
In that?
Very eloquent. He's brilliant.
No, I've heard him speak, but never in one of the shows.
Oh, no, in the shows, no, because he wants the magic to be able to do the speaking for him, sort of thing. He's got a whole theory about it. But so the one of theirs is about this whole concept, and they really vulgar and crude, but they put it across so brilliantly, where there's no questions. Yeah, it's just really done very, very, very well. So I'm saying, look it up. It is absolutely fantastic, like dispelling all of this sort of stuff. The last thing I want to say about this crossing over stuff was, I can't remember.
I love how riled up you are about it.
There's a guy, a British performer, brilliant, Darren Brown.
Okay.
Have you heard of him?
Oh, yeah. He's amazing.
He's phenomenal.
Amazing.
Phenomenal. And just a good guy, brilliant. He's everything he does. His right-hand man is a guy, or very often his right-hand man is a guy, Andy Narman. Brilliant minds. So they ask him, do you ever lie about your methodologies? And so he goes, I never lie. But sometimes I lie about the fact that I don't lie. He's one of these kind of characters. So he's got some TV shows where he also dispels all this
He's
stuff.
on Netflix specials.
But he goes out. He's got a YouTube video where he goes out and he takes a guy off the street and he turns him into a evangelist, and he teaches them all their tricks and all this sort of stuff on the program. And he builds up a crowd and he teaches the guy how to do it. And it shows you all methods of what these guys use. That's the biggest load of nonsense that people want to believe.
But they want to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think even people listening to this would be like, yeah, but there are real people. But
I'm not saying there's no real people. I've seen a lot, and I've made it my duty to go look out often. I've never seen anything real.
You've never seen anything real.
Yeah. Does it exist? Well, the Torah says certain things are, is possible. We shouldn't be doing it, but none of these guys are real.
Well, I have a problem because I'm suspicious of even like Kabbalists and stuff, but don't tell anybody because I'll get in trouble on this one. Don't tell anybody, the thousands of people listening. Don't tell anybody. But I'm like, come on. I don't know. No, whatever. I'm cynical about almost everything. Well, my wife went to this woman who heals souls or whatever, something like that. And she gave the names or whatever. It was during COVID and a bunch was sick. She wanted to make sure that our souls were clean. And I don't know if this is not the same thing. Maybe, I don't know. But she like went and healed my kids' souls. And then she got to me and she says, there's something, I can't find his soul. Like it's like missing. And I thought it was hilarious. The whole thing was hilarious. But someone I work with, he got really mad. These people are faking this, and they get their soul, and she couldn't find soul. And my son told me recently that's because I'm a redhead. Redheads have no souls. But anyways,
that's obvious. I mean,
that's obvious. So she couldn't find it. But I used to be a redhead. So no, but then she said, like, okay, my wife wouldn't pay her until she cleaned my soul.
Until she found it. Yeah.
So she found it.
She found it very quick, I'm sure.
She found it and fixed
And
it.
I'll pay you double if you clear it quicker.
No, she refused to pay anymore. Like, she's just like, okay, when you're done, let me know. I'll pay the rest of the bill. And so she did find the soul. Thank God.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm like really cynical about everything, which some people are, like especially like people go to Kabbalists and stuff. And one of the reasons I'm the most cynical is because I'm a therapist. And I've been meeting people for 27 years of therapy, of like sitting down with them. And generally within about 30 seconds, I could tell you about 500 things about their life. Like, it's not that hard. I am just, most of it's like blink. It's just gut. I could tell you about your life. Like, so I'm like, if you use a tiny bit of skill, I'm not even using skill. That's my gut. And then I use a tiny bit, mix that with some tricks, I could pretty much do anything. I even used to like kind of like pick up girls like pre my wife with these tricks. I would tell them I read eyes. I look into their eyes, which already is exciting, and then I'd say, "Oh, you really felt misunderstood when you were younger." And they go, like, you say like these basic things, right? I'm like, I would just, you just say these like general things, and they ate it up. That's when I was evil, and I used my powers for evil. Then now only for good. I only use it for good. But I get it. And that's what makes me real cynical. And if there is something that is real, I wouldn't know it because I just don't believe anything. So I don't know if this is, it makes me feel sad because everybody's looking for some magic and I'm so cynical about all of it, kind of similar reasons. And I'm sure there is something real. Like you keep saying, there may be something real. You just haven't seen it.
Right. I'm extremely cynical, and it's funny, this atheist friend, Rich, is like, you're religious and you do magic. You're cynical about everything. Like, I don't believe anything unless I know I can check it, I can see it. If I'm interested, I'll research it. But because I do magic because I know it's not real. I understand the workings behind it and everything, and like how to play it out. And religion, I find it easier to believe religion. I mean, I think atheism is a
religion.
Yes. But I'm saying I think you have a harder time proving atheism than you do religion or Yiddishkeit.
Or at least equally as hard, for sure. Agnostics have it the best because they just, I don't know anything. And that's the ones who have it good. But how did that actually come into play when you're becoming religious and you're cynical? Like, how did that, like, were you, like...
I don't know if I was always cynical like this. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
This has come with age.
You always tell our kids, question everything.
Yes.
You do that. So you have he does question, he's just connected
and also,
to Torah.
Also, like when someone asks you a question, like my son came back from a camp. They did a thing to Six Flags, and they rented out the whole place, and there was a few different camps came together, and he said some guys came up to him and they were asking him questions about Chabad and the Rebbe and stuff. So he was talking to me about the questions and the answers that him or his friends gave. It was very nice, but I said, but please understand, like there's nothing wrong with going, I don't know, but let's find out.
Right.
Do not make up anything. Don't ever do that. Say, I don't know, but let's find out.
Right.
A. B, also understand you're answering you should answer the question. So you should answer the person, not the question. You answer the person. You understand where they're coming from.
Right.
And then that will change your answer, or that will help you formulate your answer. And the last thing is, if they really wanted to know, you're not going to wait till a outing at camp to ask another kid at camp what these questions are. If you really want to know,
right,
there's people you can ask, and you'll find out exactly what you need to know. You know what I mean? And fine. So you go to the right people, do the right things, and if you're interested in something, so that's what I do. And you
So
go on
that's-
and on.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if you do. Your wife was telling me that my past brother-in-law, Gavril Klatsko, I don't know. Did you know him as well? Or no?
I didn't. I grew up in Pretoria, which is the next door town. I only moved in.
Right.
after he
Okay.
passed away, yeah.
So he used to say to me, because he was working with like Kiruv, like he was, and a lot. I was young, but he was like he was saying, you have to find out if they're asking an answer or asking a question. So if they're, I really love it. He says sometimes they're just asking an answer. Like this is their question, and then you don't have to answer that. They have the answer. Just talk to them. He's like, don't answer.
Or they have their answer. It doesn't have to necessarily be correct.
So their question sounds like a question, but it's really an answer. So I thought that was a very deep idea, which I learned like early on. I have a funny thing that I do because I work with addicts, and a lot of people, there's a big discussion about addicts being untruthful and lying. And, how do you know an addict is telling a lie? His lips are moving, right? So like they're always lying. But early on in my career, I realized that I could find out much more about someone through their lies than their truths. Because your lies have all your like deeper feelings behind them. It tells me what you think I want to know about you, what you want to know, what you think is real, what's good. I've made it a practice in my practice to never catch anybody in a lie and let it go and see where it goes. Eventually, when we get closer, they say, I was lying to you. And I'm like, I know. But you were telling me a lot with the lies.
Amazing, yeah.
So it's fascinating to see people's like their intentions are so clear when they're trying to lie. Anyway, I don't know where that came in, but that's a similar idea. Like I'm telling you a question, but I'm really telling you the answer. You have to know what they're saying in order to really help them in that way. Could you show me some things or no? It's too late in this podcast. I still gotta pick up my wife soon.
I'll show you something. We do something with cards, because why not?
You know what? I feel like we should end the podcast. We should do this on video, and then I'll connect it to the podcast because I feel like we'll get it better, like on video.
Oh, you actually shoot it properly for video. Probably you'll get it
no,
better.
like with a camera phone. I don't know if that works out.
Okay, let me actually.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, show me something on the podcast because some people are just
I'll
going
show
to
you
listen to
one
the
more thing like
podcast, and then I'll
show you one more thing. Like
for the listeners, you're seeing nothing. Sorry, but I will act excited.
But you're feeling it. Yeah, guys, a $20 bill. This is your money. Once, twice, or folded a few times. I'm going to change this into $500 million.
Dang.
People always ask if you can do magic. Why would you do that? Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Please do that.
I mean, there's nothing better than that. I hope this is catching me. Good. 4 and 5 times. I said $500 million. Yes.
Yeah.
A man to my word. I would never lie to you. 500 million Zimbabwean dollars.
That's such a rip-off.
Said I'll do it. There it is.
This is worth about 20 cents, folks.
Really?
No, I have
No,
no
it's
idea.
worth like 0 point something cents.
Oh, wow. Guys, that was awesome.
But it's weird. It's actually a currency.
have
Check
it.
this out. It's got a expiration date on it. Bro, it's ridiculous.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
Legit? Let me see that. Used honor before. It's expired. This
it's long
expired
ago.
in 2008.
Long
Holy
ago.
cow. I
So-
never heard of a currency that expires.
So they actually moved on to American dollars. But we'll go like this. There we go. That's a lot better.
Changed it.
Into a $1 that you gave me.
God.
I know, it's a 20.
The $1.
That's a lot better, yes?
Ilan, please do a mentalism piece.
It's so amazing. Can we do a mentalism? All right.
We're going to
Nice.
do this on camera. We're going to do it
Yeah,
like
yeah. Let's do a
separately?
camera. I give it up because people are not going to go to camera. Yeah, go. Let's
Okay.
do it like this if we can.
If we can. Yeah, we can.
Yeah,
Okay, let's do this. I want you to think of...
guys. If you're listening to this, you got to go to YouTube to see the actual stuff.
If you're not listening to this, you wouldn't have even known that.
Right, doesn't matter. I'm saying
Yeah.
go to YouTube. Brainstorm with Sonny, YouTube.
So
All right, what do we
I
got?
want you to think of someone close to you.
Okay,
Very close to you. I want you to picture them standing in front of you.
okay.
I didn't. I could have researched about you. I could have looked into your Facebook and socials and things like that. Your wife, children, people close to you. So you can use those names. I personally wouldn't because of these reasons.
Oh, I
It's up
should
to you.
change?
No, it's up to you.
I totally use the easiest one.
That's what I'm going for. Right? You can use that. I'm just telling you. I would suggest going for
All right,
something
I'm going
else.
with someone else. I'm going with someone else. Okay.
And I want you to picture them standing in front of you.
Okay.
I want you to picture their name. If you can see their name printed out.
Okay.
Think of the first letter of their name.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not getting anything. Let's do this. 2 seconds. Can you throw me that pen? Would you mind? Thanks. Oh, slick, eh? That catch.
I like that.
Okay. Would you mind? I have,
If you were listening, that was a very cool catch.
I have a card.
If you're listening, you're missing all this.
I want you to write their name. I'm going to turn around. I'm not going to see it. I'm going to write their name, but nice and big so you can show the cameras.
First and last?
No, just the first name.
Okay.
Okay. Nice and big so we can show the camera. Again, I'm going to turn around. So you can make it big. Don't worry about it. Let me know when you finish. I'll turn back again.
Okay, awesome.
I'm also going to turn around so that no one thinks that I'm in on it.
Well, then how am I going to do it then?
Oh, I like. Okay.
I don't want to see it, so show it
Oh.
to the camera
Oh, show it to the camera.
so that everyone else at home can see.
I don't know if that was too quick. Should I do that again?
So I'm turning around. Make
All
it big.
It's all right. It's as big as it gets. Okay.
And then show it and then put it face down.
Face down on the table.
Or hold it. It doesn't matter.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. Go.
Face down. Puts it back in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now again, they're standing in front of you,
Okay. Yes.
and you see their name.
Yes.
I'm going to write it down also. Okay.
Okay.
Good. Yours is in here. Yes. You can take it out whenever you're ready, or you can hold it in your hands. Actually, hold it. Hold it, please.
Hold the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at me.
Take it out.
Whatever. It's up to you.
Okay. Yeah. For voice. You want to go get it?
Okay. It's
It's probably upstairs. Yeah. Sorry.
you went for only the name, not the surname. It's short.
Yeah. Short.
Oh, there we go. They're not short. They're not tall. That's it? Yes. Think of the first letter.
Okay.
Think of the second letter.
Okay.
Third.
Okay.
Fourth.
Okay.
No, it's 3. It's 3 letters. Yeah. What is it?
What's the name? Allie. All right.
All right.
I like it. Okay, mentalism, baby.
So that's mentalism. I'll tell you a little bit more about this off air.
Okay.
But what I do want to tell you, I remembered now, was what we were talking about earlier. Sorry, back to mine's going everywhere.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier about what you were saying about understanding people and knowing what they're saying, but even though when they lie, you actually get to know more about their fun. And even without much skill, you could do that. I believe that is skill because you've been doing it for years.
Right.
But a friend of mine, what he does is so brilliant. He's a forensic pathologist, so interesting character. He has a trick where, and he's a magician, and he has a trick where he put 3 lines on a piece of paper. He'll say to you, to 3 people that he doesn't know their names or anything. He'll give you the piece of paper and the pen. He says, "Call me when you're finished," and each of you put your signature on the piece of paper. And I'll tell you about yourself. I'll tell you whose signature is whose. All right, it's called signature reading.
Okay.
Okay. Then he comes back and he'll look at the one signature and he'll talk about the signature, about all things about you, and it'll be spot on. And then he'll say, "And this one belongs to you." And he does the second and the third, and he's right all the time. Do you know how he does it? Simplest thing in the world.
No, what is it?
The reading of the signature is all rubbish. It's all anything that goes up. He'll say you see that your beliefs or your head's in the clouds, but yet you are very grounded. Everything's all generic rubbish stuff that everyone's going to agree to.
Right. Okay.
Right? But how does he know which one is which? And knowing which one is which actually solidifies the signature reading. Because if you knew I was my signature, obviously he knows about me, right? Like it just gives you belief in that. So what does he do is that first thing is when you hand the pen to someone, by his nose, where your nose meets your face on the side of it, there's like oil, and he'll get some on his finger and then dab it and then hit the top of the pen. So the first person who writes, it's usually a dot. There's a small gap, and then the letter starts.
Oh, because it's
Right.
not writing right away.
Right, but the real thing he does, even if that doesn't work, whatever, is that when he reads the signature, he just says what he's telling you, but softly. And naturally, that person whose signature you're reading is going to lean in so they can hear what you're saying. And that's how he does it.
That's fantastic.
It's fantastic. But
I don't get how he knows the second and third with the
same
oil
way.
thing.
No. So I'm saying this just gets the first person, and then it helps you go 50-50 afterwards. But I said irrelevant of that, what he does is he just speaks softly. And each person...
And they lean in.
Each person is going to lean in at the time. Yeah.
I mean, I want to know how everything is done. It's not, you're not allowed to tell.
No, I'm not at all. But I'm telling you things that are simple, easy, that just show about human nature, about the way we built. What, like you asked me in the beginning, how do you prepare for everyone who looks at things differently and all that stuff? So these things of what does it say about me that everyone has. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. This is amazing. Okay, so I because I have to run and go to the airport. I have to prepare for that. I have to ask you the question I ask at the end of every podcast, which is the rooftop question. If you're on top of a rooftop, yell into the whole world. You want to yell a message to the world. What's your message to the world?
Mashiach is coming. Get into gear.
Get into gear.
People are going through difficult times. Things are hard. Be kind. Help. Be friendly. And Mashiach is coming.
All right. Could I ask you what you think Mashiach is going to look like?
What he's going to look like, or what
Yeah,
the
like
era?
what's the era going to look like?
I think we are. If someone asked my father that, who's irreligious, years ago, if you told him what we're living in now, that was pretty crazy.
He would say this is Mashiach.
No, but so he's not from. He doesn't understand it. But I'm saying to you that things like, again, if you were told many years ago that someone can speak to the entire world or can put out messages or whatever, or all knowledge is going to become available to you, you think there's no way. How's that possible? Now it's the most simple thing in the world. Going to the bathroom, you have your phone on you, you sit there, unfortunately, forever, and you've got all the information on you. I grew up with encyclopedia up on my wall back at home. You know those encyclopedia books?
Yeah.
You have them here as well? Now you've got
them.
10 million times more information for free in your pocket constantly, and it can read it to you. And it's getting better where they think you're looking at, you see those chips you can put in someone's head, you can download information.
Right.
You're right? So that Mashiach times, all things are happening that are leading towards this thing. I don't think it's, or like Rambam says, it's not a big when something's going to happen. It's through the normal way of life.
It's the time period.
Yeah, we definitely. So, what's it going to look like? I don't know, but I believe it's going to be pretty awesome. Elon Musk, ex-South African, woohoo!
That's right.
Said
When we don't like him, we say he's South African. When we like him, he's American.
Right. So he's talking about that robot of his that will do everything around the house, and with AI and all different things happening. It's like there's no jobs left for us. We're going to be sitting and learning and doing whatever it is that we're meant to be doing, creative, whatever it is. I'm saying, but a lot of work and the concept of money is changing. All stuff is changing from AI and from what they're doing. It's
really nice because with so much negative talk about the world, and I have very similar ideas like this. It's like just the idea that we have majority of the Jews live in Israel for the first time since I think the first Beis HaMikdash. Majority of the Jews are in already Israel. So like, when's the Carif? When is the like Wings of Eagles going to happen? I think it already happened. Like we're there. There are more Jews in Israel than left Egypt. Egypt is 1/5 of the Jews left.
Yeah.
More than half of us are already there. I find that
as well. Yeah.
pretty messianic. I don't know. Yeah,
so someone actually, I don't know how if you ran very quickly. I was at a Pesach program entertaining, and after Yom Tov, I did something very quick for Ben Shapiro, and I put it onto my Instagram.
Oh, I saw it.
I didn't know there was so much hatred. The reason why the comments are turned off is because the amount of anti-Semitism that came out of that, like it's the first time I've had I have comments every now and then, like it doesn't really matter, but many comments of things. The first one started about because it was a trick with a coin,
Right.
And it went on his watch. And then the first comment that was anti-Semitic was, do you know why coins have ridges? You know, the ridges on the side of the coins. I explained why they have ridges. I don't know that was an anti-Semitic thing. There's an idea out there, no proof or anything, that Jews were the ones who were clipping coins, and it destroyed currency, destroyed certain countries' economic standing, and that's why, because of the Jews. There's not proven anywhere, but and then all of a sudden, all this stuff started coming. I was like, it's insane. So it really affected me. I started answering all of them, and I realized, being truthful, being honest, and giving real fact and all that stuff means nothing. They believe a certain thing and finished. And those are the people that are real. The rest are bots. But I say, like,
what's our job?
Our job is to just. So my wife was like, I was up at late, and she was like, Ilan, put it down. Like, it's stop answering it. Just spread light.
Right.
And like the Free Rebbe says, just light a small candle, it dispels a lot of darkness. Just do good. So I cut those comments. I just disabled whatever it is. Those
just couldn't do it.
Those comments. The amount of it's just ridiculous.
I've gone down that rabbit hole. It's terrible.
So he has a very important thing. This is what I was getting to about Mashiach. That upset me a lot. So there's a guy in our community back in New Haven, Connecticut, Chanoch Pastrisky, Rabbi B. And at that time, I was talking to him, and he just spoke about, I was saying in the Pasha, he said about how that the world is coming to, or is at a stage now that all this negative that we're seeing, it's actually that the world is so good that anything that is gross, that is negative, that is left over, it's getting rid of. It's like pushing it to the surface so we can get rid of it. Like if you are cleansing anything, you have to burn off the dirt. So that's why all of this is now coming to the surface for you, sort of thing. It's that because this is, but in truth, the world's really good.
Oh, I like that. Who said that?
Rabbi B, Rabbi Chanoch Pastrisky is a rabbi in the yeshiva back in New Haven.
Oh.
Yeah. Originally from California. So it's just coming to the surface because the world, like Israel can't handle the level of holiness the place is. It needs to have holy things. If something's not holy there, it can push it out of the land. So the world is becoming holy, and it can't have these bad things in it, so it's pushing it out, and that's how it's coming to the surface now. So you're saying, I was like, I needed that.
That's a great message.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. That was awesome.
Awesome to hang out with you.
No, maybe we'll make a couple like you show me some stuff, and we'll make a promo video for this because that'll be really fun. Anyway, thank you so much. That was awesome.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for this day that I've been given. Thank you. Thank you for this chance. Thank you for this chance to live anew.